Hey guys, welcome back to Pavelauda, and welcome back to Café Enchanté. I'm just gonna not even say anything, we're just gonna get right into it, you know? I am so excited.
やあやあ親愛なる首なし騎士殿
Yeah! Who's here?
呼ばれちゃいないんだけど助けに来ちゃったよ
ミシェル
And before a moment can pass, after my gasp, 2 more shadows jump out and take down several more soul eaters.
つーか、なんなんだよこの状況は。妖精界は平和が売りじゃなかったのか。
妖精たちの反応それにこの状況何一つ平和に該当する要素がありませんね
Oh, I could start crying.
妖精のみんな急いでこっちの扉に
Prompted by Rendo's words, the surrounding fairies go through the gate like a crashing wave. I can see Karya on the other side, calming the fairies so they don't panic.
お前たちなぜここに
Once I voice my inquiry of how this happened, Ignis stares down at his surroundings and responds without hesitation.
琴音の置き手紙があったんだよ。メディオに行ってくるってな。
女王様とお茶をするだけならいつものことだからいいんだけど、帝から今のメディオについてよろしくない情報を聞いたばかりでね。で、嫌な予感がした僕たちはカリア君にゲートをつなげてもらってこうしてお邪魔をしたというわけ。
Thank God we have Karya.
そしてこの様子ではその予感もどうやら当たりのようですね
Though they may not know all the details, they must have sensed a great danger. Oh God, I love them all! Ah! I'm just screaming. I'm sure all of my neighbors are probably like, what in the world is going on? With the reunion greeting out of the way, the 4 of them brace themselves for combat. However, the swarm of enemies, perhaps perceptive of their immediate disadvantage, or maybe for another unknown reason, disappear, as if to melt into the stems and not a single one remained visible.
逃げられましたね
I nod at Eel's words and then follow up.
だがひとまずは落ち着いて話をすることができる。とはいえ一刻の猶予もない。ミラ、かけながらの話となるが。
おらおらおら、イグニス様のお通りだ。ザコどもは引っ込んでな。
The soul eaters that stand in our way and Yggdrasil's tentacles scatter as Ignis's outburst scares them off. After disposing of the enemies, we are finally reunited as a group again, and stop at a crossroad.
んで、こっから先はどうすんだ。一番手っ取り早い最短距離をぶち抜くパターンは、あいつの命が減るから禁止なんだろう。
Ignis cracks at his shoulders while recounting what I had told him as we ran.
まあね到着したら魂を吸い尽くされてたなんてシャレにならないでしょ
Yeah, that would be a very shitty joke.
あとは時間のかけすぎも禁物だね彼女の体力も問題だけど
She will live to see dawn at the latest. Before anyone else can pick up on Nazir's suggestive choice of words, Eel finishes his sentence.
またマスターの性格面を考慮しますと妖精の被害は気にせずに一目散に救助というのも褒められた行動ではないかと、
人道的な意味を別にしても世界中の回復源は立たないとそれだけこっちが不利になるよね
After such a short dialogue, the plan we decide on is a rather simple one. Rindo and Eel will raid and search as they lead the fairies to Enchanté. Nazir and Ignis will keep environmental damages to a minimum while acting as our escorts.
つまりあれだな。行き当たりばったりだな。
まあ、そうなるな。
Since we don't have time to come up with a sophisticated game plan, this might be the best we can do. After deciding on the general plan, Rindo hands something out.
ああ、そうだみんな。これを渡しておくよ。
これは
帝金星 GPM の通信機。同じ世界の中なら通信可能距離も長いし、何かあればこれで連絡を取り合おう。
Oddly enough, he must have known how inept I am with technology, since he told me to leave it on and not touch anything. I take the communication device, and after each of us finish preparing,
カヌス、最優先事項は中枢部への到達です。あなたは一切を無視して最短距離を。
分かった。その言葉に甘えさせてもらう。
まあ美味しいところを持ってかれちゃうわけだけど、ここじゃあどう考えてもホームのカヌスが一番強いわけだし、土地勘だってあるから有利だしね。
ついでに言うなら、囚われのお姫様を助け出すのは騎士の役目ってね。
ああ、魔王はさらう側だもんな。
そうだな。
I feel my tension and my tension. There's a lot of spelling errors in this. Anyway, I feel the tension in my shoulders relax, seeing their unchanged demeanors. But at the same time, I feel I must return Kotone to the peaceful nature of this group.
ま、梅雨払いは任しとけ。その代わり、しくじるんじゃねえぞ。
ああ、必ずや。
Go, go, go! Go, 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 go! Oh, goodness. Gradually, it feels like my senses are waning. Touch, vision, sound. The one thing keeping my failing body intact is...
ことね、ダメじゃ、意識を失うな。自分自身をなくすでない。
Titania's cries in terror before my eyes, and above my knees, a single flower. From it, I can hear a nostalgic voice. I wonder whose voice it is. Where and when have I heard it? A gentle voice, a very lovely voice. My head is foggy and my consciousness blinks sporadically.
ニーヤ、もう良いじゃろ。このままでは。
まだです。彼女には今しばし花嫁でいてもらわなくては。言ったでしょ、姉さん。僕は何を犠牲にしたとしても、この世界中を殺す。世界を殺す。彼女を救うためならば、彼らはきっと一切の容赦をしない。けれど、かといって闇雲に世界中を攻撃すれば、彼女の命が持たない。そんな絶妙な加減が必要な救出劇。必ずや彼ら、いや、カヌスはここへ来ますよ。その身に劇場をたぎらせて、必ずや彼女の敵を一刀に伏せてみせるはずだ。
I wonder if Vania is aware. If they're right, Canus's blade will be pointed at them. There's no way that Vania themselves haven't realized this. Yet Titania is still... My train of thought derails as the sudden roar of the trees. Give me more. Something is being drained out of me. I nearly forget my need to breathe.
ことね、わしの声を聞け。皆の声に耳を澄ませろ。そなたが何者かを思い続けよ。そなたを助けに向かっている皆を思い続けるのじゃ。
Thanks to another surge of excruciating pain, I managed to stay awake. And as I was told, I try to repeat someone's name to myself. I am the owner of Enchanté, the barista for the regulars, and Canus's. Ah!
さあ、ことね。これが最後です。どれだけ恨んでくれても構わない。どれだけ憎んでくれても構わない。死にたくないでしょ。助かりたいでしょ。僕と世界中が許。
And then they hold up a single flower towards me. The subtle fragrance tickles my nose.
ならば叫べ。助けに来る彼らに届くように。
While my consciousness nearly escapes me, I make eye contact with them before me. Contrary to the strong words, their eyes are drowning in sorrow. My mouth trembles as I spill the words. Canus. At this point, it was almost unclear who this name referred to, but I just have one thing to say. I believe in you. Despite my predicament, for some reason I have the strength to say that gently and with a smile. But this doesn't last very long.
Sa, この悲鳴が聞こえるはずだ。各世界で最強と歌われる脅威たちよ。その歌い文句通り、世界をも滅ぼせるというのなら、この間違った世界そのものを完膚なきまでに破壊してみせろ。
Colton is gonna die. This is so bad. Oh god. As we run towards the Nexus, I can hear intense laughing and screaming. Laughing! And
ミシェル、イグニス、聞こえたか？
as we strike down our enemies and continue making our way, their lack of an answer must be the answer. She never told me. Neither to fight Yggdrasil or to kill it, nor did she seek rescue. She only said one thing.
我を信じる。
After that, I clenched the now silenced flower tightly in my fist.
あんな風に言われちゃったら男としては答えなきゃね。
たく、とことん普通じゃねえやつだよ、あいつは。
でもそれでこそ俺たちのマスターってね。行こう、カヌス。彼女を救いにさ。
I'm not guided by some inherited memory of someone else, nor am I influenced by fate blindly following a predetermined path. I only follow my own will.
ああ、我は必ずや琴音を救ってみせる。
Oh, God, I hope he makes it in time. This is so bad. Oh. No matter how much it has changed due to the effects of the fairy world, the biological characteristics of the plant, receiving sunlight, conducting photosynthesis, and feeding off of the land and water, should be no different from regular plant life. As the GPM R&D department head, Mikado had once analyzed. Though it is out of the ordinary, Yggdrasil is still a plant. It has no eyes to perceive tragedies, nor ears to hear the cries of fairies. It does not answer prayers, nor does it think or feel. Yes, the only thing Yggdrasil has is the eat or be eaten survival instinct. But now Yggdrasil... Oh, there's some crazy organs playing. Is shaken with anger. Even when it desires sustenance to heal, its food source, fairies, cannot be found. The roots that are extended out to find food have been cut down by someone, one by one. The lack of food and the swarm of enemies that seek to harm it are, for the World Tree, a threat comparable to what occurred 500 years ago. Thus, Yggdrasil, guided by anger, an emotion the World Tree shouldn't have. At Yggdrasil's nexus, the Queen's quarters, the roots and flowers quickly become visible. Like a blooming flower, enemies begin to appear one by one. The fairy siblings' expressions tighten.
なぜここにこやつらが現れる?
The Soul Eaters are tentacles designed to consume fairies' souls. Normally, they do not appear near the throne when the bride offers her soul. Even during Yggdrasil's chaos 500 years ago, they never once appeared in this location. Then why?
そうか、そういうことか。
いや、
カヌスの仲間たちです。おそらく彼らが妖精をアンシャンテへ避難させたからでしょう。
つまり妖精界に残された餌はわしらぐらいしかいないということか。
カヌスはまだ来ないか。
Oh god. They're gonna frickin' get eaten! Vinia backs up step by step while protecting their scornful sister. If they are attacked here, it would pass as a well-deserved punishment. Either they get cut down by the Dullahan or get eaten by the Soul Eater. Either way, that would be the end of it. However, their sister must be spared. As if they sensed a lack of combat skills, the rising roots extend themselves at once. However, the hands of evil suddenly soar through the sky. All of them abruptly stop midair and fall to the ground in an instant.
何が今の一体
The squirming enemies seem to avoid advancing any further than a certain distance. At the center of it is obviously...
そなたが止めたのか?
They look up to see Kotane, who is supposed to be indisposed, holds her head up a little and stares at the Soul Eaters.
止めたそんなバカな妖精以外が世界一の力を
The Soul Eaters that surround Vinia and Titania, still standing in shock, slowly close their distance between them. But... Stop! As if to be struck by Kotone's voice, the Soul Eaters freeze in position.
僕たちをかばうというのかどうして
よすのじゃことね。女王の力は自らの魂を削る。ただでさえ世界中はそなたの命を蝕んでいるのじゃ。それ以上の力を使えば。
From Kotone's point of view, she had no reason to leave or protect them. They cannot believe her actions. Despite Vinia's dumbfounded expression, Kotone lightly smiles at Titania's plea. No, if I quit, you'll be attacked. You, my friend, have finally been liberated. You're able to use your own feet now to visit Enchanté. I refuse to let you become the World Tree Bride again.
あの子、花嫁にはさせないで。
Vinia suddenly loses their balance. They can hear the words of a certain someone in Kotone's words.
いいや、何をほうけている。ここまで言われて、まだ琴音を犠牲にする気か。カヌスを呼ぶためだというならば、もう十分のはずじゃ。だから。
無理です。
いいや、まだそんなことを。
僕だってできるなら解放してやりたい。いっそ今なら 僕が変わってもいい。だけどさっき姉さんを解放したのも数百年をかけて玉座に細工したからこそやっと成し遂げられたんだ。今すぐに解放なんて。
However, from the beginning, the circumstances didn't allow for them to properly think of a plan. The roots mobilize and soul eaters start to appear again in pursuit of the final source of food. Despite being stopped by the queen's powers, the spirits slowly surround them again. Kotone stares down at them once more. Don't come near! But as an act of defiance, the bindings of the throne violently and rapidly entangle her body. Not only her limbs, but her torso and breasts. What the heck? They even firmly wrap around her neck.
姉さん。くそくそ。姉さんに手を出すな。世界中。
Without any regard to anyone's feelings, Yggdrasil indiscriminately and relentlessly tries to consume everything, even the souls of all present living beings. This is bad. This is not good. Oh no! It fades. Fades away. The many memories that make me who I am. That one just happened like an hour ago. Yggdrasil, which has a hold on my soul, chokes me and takes me away. The person that enjoys talking with regulars. The person that brews coffee while smiling and laughing at the counter. I don't want to lose any of them. They're all treasured memories, yet one by one they become foggy and get ripped apart, like a once colorful tree in autumn withering away in winter. My memories, my recollections, myself. They're being stripped one by one. But even still, I will not forget. No matter how much of myself is stripped, I don't want to forget one word. This word only consists of 5 letters. Canus. I just repeated so, like a plea, like a prayer. The one word that clearly holds passion. I will never let go of it. Canus. Yes! As if to answer my prayers, a single blade cuts through. The countless soul eaters and Yggdrasil tentacles that surround me are all destroyed in an instant. Even the throne that constricted me has been cut up into 1,000 tiny pieces. My body is gently picked up, a cold and hard set of black armor. But I know the warm spirit that pulses beneath it.
ことね、待たせたな。
Assertive and gentle, and as reliable as anything. Yes, he came. The person that I hope to never forget. Picture gets! Oh, beautiful! Canus!
ああ、そうだ。我はあなたが信じてくれた騎士、カヌス・エスパーダだ。
After noticing that I'm still conscious, he draws his sword again, with his powerful tone intact.
聞くがいい世界中よ。彼女は貴様の花嫁などではない。いや、たとえ他の誰であろうとも、琴音を奪わせはしない。彼女を守る者として、彼女に寄り添う者として。 このカヌスエスパーダがもらい受ける。
As if to be stunned. By his overwhelming dominance, the distant soul eaters in the surrounding area don't seem to move any closer.
ことね、我が空白の眼に向き合い、そして照らしてくれた人よ。あなたの我を信じる思いに応えるため、我が剣救うために振るうことをここに誓おうぞ。
While still carrying me in his arms, Canus jumps away from the rubbles of the throne and heads toward Titania and Vania, whom he apparently had also just saved.
もう安心してほしい。
Lord, she recovered so fast. She was like literally getting the soul sucked out of her, and she's just like perfectly fine
我
now.
はもう二度とこの手からあなたを話はしない。何があろうと守りきってみせる。
Yes, it's okay. I believe in you. All of you, Canus.
ことね。
After he gently embraces my body once again, Canus faces towards Vania and Titania, who are still slightly dumbfounded yet sighing in relief.
カヌス、なぜ僕まで助けたのです。姉さんはともかく、僕はあなたと琴音を。
理由が必要か。目の前に窮地に陥った者がいる。それが古き友であれば、なおさら助けることに迷いはない。
Aww.
裁きが欲しいのならば後にしよう。我はお前を殺すために来たのではないのだ。
So clear-headed. At the exact moment Vania bit down on their lips, trying to process all of the emotions they can't express, the drossel begins to shake. What?
これは花嫁をも失った世界樹が完全な暴走を始めておる。このままでは周囲すべてが、いや下手をすれば世界樹そのものがソウルイーターとして。
At this point, even Canus and Titania begin to panic.
妖精界メディは終わりですね。ですが世界樹を殺すことは叶わずとも、この狂った世界を壊すことはできた。カヌス、恥だとは分かっていますが、どうか姉さんたちだけでもアンシャンテに避難を。
Though Vania's words are filled with petulance, Canus responds.
その必要はない。
That's all he said.
なんじゃと。
琴音が言ったはずだ。我を信じるとならば、我はその言葉に応えるまでのこと。琴音を救い、お前たちを救い、そしてこのメリオもまた救ってみせる。それがこの世界樹にすら死を告げる存在である我であり、この世界を守護する。
The quake is so violent that the collapse of the Nexus could happen at any moment. In the midst of the chaos, Canus's words are quiet, but unshaken, filled with conviction and determination. Another quake. It was large enough to topple over the soul eaters and tentacles that had been surrounding us.
そうは言うが、一体どうするというのじゃ。いくらそなたが死を告げる妖精だとして、一人でどうにかできるものでは。
いや、我は一人ではない。我には頼もしき仲間がいるのだから。
Canus says as he pulls something out from his chest. That's the...
リンドウから預かった通信機だ。これでメリオ内に散らばる港と連携が取れる。この中枢にはミシェルやイグニスも途中まで共に向かっていたのだが、我ならばあなたを救出できるとそう信じ、あらかじめ最後に備えた配置についてくれた。
Positions? Then, after Canus releases a large sigh,
ミラ、最後の大仕事だ。頼めるか。
with his low and clear-cut voice, he calls out to the others over the radio.
はいはーい、 我らがマスターのためなら魔王様は喜んで世界の脅威になりますとも。
俺にとっちゃうってつけの大舞台だ。なんせ周りにはよく燃える薪しかねえからな。
That is true. He could literally set fire to the whole place.
改めまして生き残った全妖精の避難誘導を完了。いつでも大規模破壊を行えます。それと林道刈谷両名からの伝言です。皆の帰りを待っている。
Okay, that's good. Because I was gonna be like, Rindo better not be on this call. Like, he should be at the freaking human world just staying safe. Because there's no freaking
始め
way.
ましょう。最後は任せましたよ、カヌス。
Over the radio, I can hear the voices of the most powerful beings in the universe, whom Vania had deemed worthy. Suddenly, Yggdrasil begins to tremble and makes a loud creaking sound, like a shriek. One can sense what had happened without having directly witnessed it. The others scattered throughout Medio must have attacked Yggdrasil all at once. I can hear Yggdrasil burn and collapse from the outer perimeters, as if to corroborate my assumption.
これが
彼らの本当の力。
While the siblings stand in awe of the overwhelming powers they can feel.
これが最後だ。世界中よ。
Canus draws his sword, and, after taking one step forward, powerful enough to smash the ground below, he starts dashing towards the troublesome Yggdrasil at an overwhelming speed. His animalistic drive can mean but one thing. Canus has just declared that this is Yggdrasil's final moment in existence. He aims at a single spot, the one place strongly tied to Yggdrasil, the place for the sacrificed brides, the throne. Canus runs straight towards it in order to thrust his sword upon it. Yggdrasil violently shakes at the imminent threat. With its quake, numerous roots, and some summoned soul eaters, Yggdrasil attempts to stop him in his tracks, but Canus doesn't even flinch. In the face of his overwhelming power, Yggdrasil's attempt at resisting doesn't stand a chance. Canus begins to focus on his approach, growing sharper and stronger. By drastically increasing his own powers, a single blow might finish it off. He follows up by saying,
世界中よ。いや、妖精界メリオよ。500年の時を経て、今こそ我はお前に死を与えよう。
Picture get! He swings his sword with all his might, and while he slices Yggdrasil, he takes a final step forward.
我が名はカヌス・エスパーだ。妖精界の万物に死を告げる妖精にして琴音を守り、彼女にあだなす者を撃つただ一人の騎士なり。我が魂、我が剣、我が琴の葉を受け入れよう。
His strike is to bring the death upon Yggdrasil, to destroy the throne, to put an end to all misfortunes. Canus imbues all of this power into his sword and, with a thunderous roar, he swings. Did he do it? And after Yggdrasil viscerally cries in agony, without regenerating or retaliating, it has been handed its death and takes its final breath. Oh, they were so cool! Oh. With the death of Yggdrasil, which had held my soul hostage, I begin to feel the movement of time once again in an instant. My body feels light again and almost seem to float unassisted in midair. My attention's drawn to the tranquil scenery. What? Ah, that's right. Now that Yggdrasil has died, those fairies are finally liberated in the real sense of that word. I'm sorry. for causing you years of suffering, for bringing you so much grief. But at this point, I haven't the time nor the voice to apologize as I should. So at the very least, allow me to pray. I wish for your happiness, and thank you, my dear sister, my dear brother. Thank you for saving them. Oh, fuck, that was Banshee! What? What? Oh my god. The severed world tree, sliced cleanly in half, and though its life force is gone, its remains still function as the land of Medio. Some time has passed since the climax of the event. It's almost sunrise. Canus and I are on our way to a certain location. A few hours earlier, once the battle had ended, Mazir and the gang decided on going back to Enchanté in their respective worlds. When they parted ways, they knock on Canus's armor, congratulating his work. Seeing everybody made me smile. Normally, once the dust has settled, I would be home by now, but...
琴音、どうか我と共に来てはくれまいか。
Those words were the only reason I needed for me to remain in the world of Medio. By the way, with their congratulatory words, everyone struck on Canus's armor one at a time again.
着いたな。
Canus stops walking. The whisper of snow echoes quietly. I trace his gaze to see the scenery we had once seen together. The place Canus claims to be his favorite place in all of Medio. But this place too, now that Yggdrasil has been defeated, will eventually wither away. But Canus does not display fear for such a future.
琴音、手を。
Yes. He gently reaches out as if to prevent me from slipping in the snow. Supported by his hand, I cautiously walk as my feet slightly tilt diagonally. We approach the location where we can see the entirety of Medio. It's breathtaking, no matter when I see it.
ああ、
It's true that Yggdrasil had tortured Canus and the others for centuries, even though it was a threat. At the same time, this is where my memories reside with Canus and where I met Titania and Venia. This single world is coming to an end. This is a major event. It's something that I couldn't have fathomed when I first took over Enchanté. I wonder what will become of the fairies, Titania, Venia, and most of all Canus from this point on. That was certainly my concern, but...
琴音、そろそろだ。よく目を凝らしておくといい。
I didn't need to ask what it was. As the soft wind blows, I can see them start to rise. As the world welcomes the sunrise, from every visible place, light pours out from Yggdrasil's remains. Whoa! Countless particles of light. As they rise and make contact with my body, they dissipate and vanish. Along with a warm sensation, an overwhelming sense of power grows inside. It feels as if all of the life Yggdrasil had been stealing from me is slowly being returned to me. No, that must be what it is. For this light is...
世界樹が養分とした無数の妖精たちの生命力。奴を切り、死したことで体内に蓄積されていたそれが一斉に解放されたのだろう。これであなたが吸われた命も元通りになったはずだ。
Well, that's convenient. Canus, after letting out a sigh of relief, he too takes a particle in his hand and embraces it protectingly. Yes, the beautiful glimmers of light, overflowing from the recently slain Yggdrasil, belong to the lives of the eaten fairies. Under normal circumstances, seeing life is not something an ordinary human like me can do. But as Canus mentioned earlier, this time really is an exception. My body, which was tethered to Yggdrasil, albeit only temporarily, seems to be exhibiting fairy-like characteristics, which would explain why I'm able to receive the life force of the fairies to recover my own life. Thank you. As I graciously thank the fairies for life now coursing through my healthy body, I subconsciously utter, I wonder what becomes of Medio from this point on.
運命は変わらぬよ。今我々が立っている世界樹は静かに、そしてゆっくりと枯れ消滅していくだろう。だが
Canus tells of a hopeful future in the direction of the floating light.
きっと今こうして世界中に溢れていく命のもと、種たちが今度は正真正銘メディオの命として芽吹くだろう。もしかしたら今度こそ生贄など必要とせぬ正しき意味でのメディオの世界樹も誕生するやもしれぬ。
I see. The reason why this world tree was a disaster is because it originated in a foreign world and eventually mutated in this one. If it is purely made from life in this world at the very least, he claims, the future will not be so grim. Hey, Canus.
なんだろうか。
When that future comes, let's come back here again. To the highest point here. To a reborn and truly beautiful Medio.
ああ、約束しよう。
Canus nods, and as if to engrave this scenery into his memory, he removes his helmet. At that moment, the world and the sunrise fully become one, as the light shines ever so beautifully.
やはり感慨深いな。我はあなたと共に世界が生まれ変わる瞬間を見届けることができるのか。愛おしいあなたと。
Canus, after spilling these words from the depths of his heart, and with his helmet still off, he once again turns around and faces me. Whoa! Picture get? Wait. Oh my god, I think she sees him. Is that what that picture's supposed to mean? They didn't have any text. She just started crying. I think she did see his face. Because she has the fairy powers now, right? And Karia can see him somewhat. Oh my fucking god! Woohoo! We beat Canus's chapter. Oh my god. This is so cute. I love this. Oh my god. Honestly, there's so much of this game that I think is like could be like just sort of shortened a bit. Like I think that reducing the amount of flashbacks and everything would help a lot, but I mean, I still love it. I still think that the game is really good. I think that they clearly put a lot of thought and effort into it, and they wanted everything to work out in the end. So at the end of the day, I think it's a feel-good kind of game, you know? I don't know what the bad ends look like yet, obviously, since I hope that's the good end. I think it's pretty clear that we got a good ending. But again, I don't know. It's just, I'm so happy. Oh, I think that there's so much complication when you add like different worlds to each person's, like each love interest's storyline. So I think that they did a pretty good job with Canus's. I think that they built it pretty well. I would say that I still am confused on if Canus is the only headless fairy of death or not, but I'm I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. Maybe, possibly. Or they're just not going to tell us at all. Oh, epilogue. Okay, here we go. Those were memories of childhood. I recall the warmth of the flowing steam and the wafting aroma of coffee.
なんだことね。楽しそうだな。お絵かきか。
Homework for kindergarten.
何々？将来の夢？はあ、最近は面白い宿題が出るもんだな。
Yeah. Aki said she wants to own a pet store, and Umi wants to be an idol.
いいじゃねえか。で、お前の夢は？
Grandpa!
なあ、ことね。じいちゃんは職業じゃねえぞ。あと、お前は女の子だ。どう頑張ってもじいちゃんにはなれねえ。
Why not?
なぜにじゃねえ。まったく誰に影響されたんだその口調。あ、カヌスの野郎か。まあ何はともあれ、孫娘の目標にされるってな、なかなか悪くねえ気分だな。
Yeah, Kotone's gonna be a coffee shop owner like you, Grandpa.
ははは、その意気だ。そうだな。もしもだけどよ、お前が本当に俺の後を追って喫茶店を選ぶっつうなら、最初は俺の後を追うだけでもいい。手を引いてやるし、世話をしてやる。けどな、お前もいつかは自分で自分の道を選ぶ日が来る。
My own path?
おう。まあ、その時にはもう俺は近くにいないかもしれねえ。けど心配すんな。その時にはきっと。
Grandpa, you can't just be like, she's like 5 clearly. Like, you can't just be like, oh, well, I might be dead by the time you realize your dreams. Like, God.
お前が選んだその道を一緒に歩いてくれるやつが隣にいるはずだ。
This prayer will never be answered. But if I could see Grandpa again, I would want to thank him for showing me the path when I was lost, and for introducing me to Canus and the others. Thank you. Oh. Oh, there's more? A month's time has passed since the incident in the fairy world of Medio. Café Enchanté is back to doing business as usual. The regulars, who aren't here at the moment, have been visiting the shop as if nothing had happened. No, I guess there were some changes. That is...
ことね。カヌスに聞いたぞ。新しいハーブティーが入ったというのは誠か？
Hey there, Titania. The fact that we have a new, beautiful regular customer. Yep, that's true. I tried to procure some rare ones, like lemongrass. Titania has since been liberated from Yggdrasil. Now that Titania has become a regular, her love for red tea has affected the cafe. I love red tea as well. I think red tea is technically known as black tea. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Enchanté's main menu, which consisted mainly of coffee items, now includes a very special red tea. Titania takes a seat at the counter with a wholesome smile on her face as if she's been coming here for years.
ならば早速それを頼む。それと、この間のシフォンケーキとやらも。
Chiffon cake is amazing. It's
あ
really
れは
good.
絶品じゃった。
It's like soft. I mean, all cake is soft, but it's like extremely soft. I don't know. You should try it if you haven't tried it. I'm flattered to hear you liked it, but don't eat it too fast. You'll choke. These days, the smile on Titania's face isn't that of a fairy queen, but that of an adorable young girl suited to her appearance. There's nothing that imprisons her anymore. Of course, she still holds the title of queen, ruler of the fairies, but it sounds like that job is going well for her so far. Then, as if someone had noticed Titania's arrival, footsteps echo from upstairs.
今日も来たのか、 ティターニア。すっかりこの店に夢中なようだな。
That echoing, gentle voice undoubtedly belongs to one of the regulars who loves Enchanté, Canus Espada. Canus, who's returned from Medio just this morning, releases a heartwarming sigh at the sight of Titania eagerly awaiting her cake, but
このアンシャンテ、いや、琴音のアンシャンテが居心地のいい場所なのは確かだが、あまりに抜け出す頻度が多いと心配性の弟からまた説教を受けるのではないか。
the tiny queen's body jerks into stillness.
姉さん
Oh. Me and Kotone literally had the same reaction. Speak of the devil.
アンシャンテへの来店は止めませんが、毎日でも多いのに1日で2度など店にとっても迷惑でしょう。
The worrywart little brother suddenly appears from the portal room and lets out a sigh.
そんなことあるものか。わしらはお友達じゃぞ。
Don't mind me. As the owner of this cafe, I'm only blessed by Titania's visits. And thanks to that, I'm glad you come here too, Vinia. So with that, welcome.
ええ、お邪魔します。
Vinia, with a slight awkwardness, breaks eye contact with me in response to my welcoming. But they didn't try to escape the situation. Rather, they took a seat next to Titania as if to watch over her. This time, they are here as a genuine guest. Canus looks upon them in an emotional state. In Medio, ever since then, just as Canus had predicted, Yggdrasil, which had terrorized the fairies, has completely withered away and vanished. At first, the fairies were quite confused regarding the fate of Yggdrasil and their homes, and the fact that it had all disappeared. But with the new life that the light spread throughout Medio, plant buds have started to appear. And now the fairies are tending to the growth of the new life and are focused on Medio's revival. For them, who never really had purpose in their lives, having something to work towards must be a fresh and invigorating experience. And now, it's safe to say that the bias towards Canus as the Fairy of Death has disappeared. Once Titania had announced to all fairies about the truth of Yggdrasil and that Canus eliminated the threats, the way of the fairies had perceived him must have changed. Of course, it may be impossible to get along with every fairy from the get-go, but Canus, who excels at growing plants, including the flowers in Enchanté's garden, is making good use of his experience. The fairies who were saved by Canus that day had expressed their gratitude towards him, have been asking for his advice on how to grow the plants in Medio. In other words, Canus is now, in a way, the gardening guru to the fairy population. Just imagining this makes me smile. And at the end of that incident, Vinia, who had caused Yggdrasil's rampage for Titania's sake, was given one punishment. That is... Vinia, I see you're honoring your promise.
それはまあ他ならぬあなたとカヌスとの約束ですから。
To stay by Titania's side no matter where she may be, and support her as the Queen's Chancellor for all of eternity. They deemed this punishment too lenient and that they should be executed, but ultimately, despite being bitter about it, they gave in to Titania's tearful plea and accepted their punishment. There you are. Sorry for the wait. I lay down the freshly made items in front of the two liberated fairies. Once they finish their well-mannered grace, they start enjoying the red tea and desserts. As I watch them with a smile on my face... Oh. I sense an awkward gaze at me from the table in the back. Is something wrong, Canus? Did you want to order some...
ああ、いや、そういうわけでは。なんというか、今は良いと言うべきか。 いやしかしやはり昼の時間帯の方が
Huh? What? He seems very inarticulate. It sounds like he's talking to himself. Titania and Vinia also look at his demeanor with a puzzled look, at least for a second until... Vinia seems to have noticed something and snaps their fingers. Suddenly, they gently whisper to Titania seated next to them. Having heard them, Titania busts into a full grin. I tried my best to listen in. Something about an article in a magazine that Canus was reading? The siblings quietly whisper back and forth as they repeatedly look over at Canus. Their smiles resemble each other's. "30 minutes have passed since then. The two, having finished their food, suspiciously hurry for the exit, claiming they're going shopping downtown. I'm glad to see that they're enjoying their freedom in the human world, but I wonder what their gossiping was all about." But now that the two are gone, no matter how hard I think, there was no chance of arriving at an answer. I decide to focus on the guests now here, so I turn around to Canus. "By the way, Canus, you haven't ordered anything yet. Seriously, are you okay? You're staring at us the entire time. Oh, do you have something you want to ask me?"
確かに用事はあるにはあるのだがすまない。ここではまだ口にできぬのだ。
は
だから営業日だというのにすまぬが、どうか我と共に新たなる妖精界メディオへと来てくれないだろうか。
What? Okay. Guided by his words, though at first very curious, I temporarily leave the Café to Karya, who had came in shortly after. I quickly change my clothes and arrive at the portal room with him. I don't mind going to the fairy world at all, but if I recall correctly, it was Canus, of all people, who told me I shouldn't go there for a while because of the instability of the land. But those doubts are instantly shattered the moment I arrive and lay my eyes upon the gorgeous scenery. Whoa! What? It's all flowers? In a matter of seconds, I am left speechless at the vibrant colors spread across my view. A blissful wind carries a sweet fragrance. The blooming flowers dance along amongst it. They reach their petals pleasurably towards the sky.
喜んでもらえただろうか。
Canus utters as he looks at the flowers.
あの日、あの時、メディオ中に散り、この地に芽吹いた種たち。これらはその一部だ。我や妖精たちが日々世話をしていた努力が実ってな。今朝ここで初めて一斉に咲き誇ったのだ。故にあなたにもぜひ見てほしいと思い。
So that's what it was. I'm really glad. Canus leads the way, saying he wants me to see more. Being careful not to step on the flowers, which would be very difficult, we make our way to the center. This is the newly born medio.
だが、まだまだこれからだ。あなたへと誇れる世界を作れるよう、我も妖精たちと共にこの地に宿った命を育てていこうと思う。我はこれから死を告げる妖精ではなく、命を育む妖精として生きていく。似合わぬ響きなのは自覚しているかな。
That's not true at all. The powerful and kind knight who put his life on the line to save me fully deserves that title.
そうか。あなたにそう言ってもらえるのならば何よりだ。
Suddenly, Canus had taken a comically deep breath.
ことね。新たな始まりを刻むこの日が訪れたら、あなたに告げようとしていた言葉がある。
Huh?
どうか聞いてくれるだろうか。
Huh? Before I can ask him what he means by that. Oh, picture get! Oh god, is he gonna propose? Do people propose? Like, even if you're from other worlds? Is that what's happening? He removes his helmet, gently takes my hand, and kneels down in front of me. Normally, I'd be looking up at him, but now I'm looking down at him. It's a refreshing perspective, I thought, but... Canus? I have to question his actions. Maybe it's just in my head, but his hands feel slightly tense. Could he be... nervous? By the time I finish hypothesizing...
愛している。
Oh!
あなたを愛している。
The voice so gentle, heartfelt, and overflowing with emotions. Canus abruptly expresses his feelings for me. And as my cheeks blush bright red from the passionate words, he presents me.
ことね、この寡黙で、不器用で、表情すら伺えぬ。だが、あなたを愛し、守るという思いだけならば、あらゆる世界の誰にも負けはせぬ。我、花嫁になってはくれぬだろうか。
Oh my god! It feels as if time has stopped and everything is frozen in place. Bride?
無論、世界中のではないぞ。
You didn't have to add that, Canus.
あなたが信じてくれたカヌス・エスパーダという騎士の花嫁となってほしい。
Does he mean...
本来、妖精には結婚という概念はないのだが、あなたがティターニアに渡した雑誌の中にそれを特集した箇所があってな。それを偶然読んだ時、すぐにあなたの顔が浮かんだのだ。
Oh.
だからこの日を迎えたらその意志を伝えようと心に決めていた。無論我のような人外と生涯を共にするのは容易なことではないだろう。きっと苦労や寿命の差、そして顔が見えぬゆえのすれ違いもあるはずだ。だがそれでも我はあなたに生涯を共にする者として選んでほしいと思ってしまったのだ。
Oh, this is so sweet. Honestly, it's like just him like researching it, even though it's not part of his culture. I'm like, we stand for Canus. It's so beautiful. His love is straightforward and to the point. This is probably his first selfish act, considering he has always dedicated himself to the service of the fairy world medio. My face reddens, not out of confusion, but out of flattery. I feel as I'm but a flower in a vast ocean of a flower garden. Canus, now staring at me, must be predicting my response to him. But no matter how strong the feeling, I have to choose my words to get my point across. I will happily reciprocate for the kind and sincere man who is looking at me, Kotone, straight in the eye. I'd be happy to. In response to my stuttering.
慌てる姿も愛らしい。
Oh.
だが、うなずいてくれてありがとう。ことね。
Oh, this is beautiful. A blizzard of flower petals fly through the sky in celebration of us. Embraced by this warm celebration, Canus takes my hand and gently pulls it towards him. And a soft warmth seeps down into the back of my hand. That is probably Canus's kiss of oath. Despite being faceless, he proves his love for me.
誓わせてほしい。騎士としてだけではなく、一人の男として、我はあなたの身も心も永遠に守り続ける。淡きことね、 我が愛しき花嫁よ、我が愛を、我がことの葉を受け止めてほしい。
Yes, I accept it with all my heart. And I will forever cherish your love and soul as your bride.
ああ、我もだ。愛していることね。あなたを永遠に。
Thank you, kind knight. I'm just a fragile human being, but I will be your place of comfort, and I swear to protect your soul. As the owner of my Enchanté, and your noble knight's bride. Oh my god, I didn't think it could be any cuter than this. Finn, oh god, flashbacks to Steam Prison, but anyway, that is so cute. I'm glad that they did such a long, like, kind of epilogue there. Oh, what the fuck? What's happening? What was that? Prologue 2. There's more? Oh, what's happening? What is this? Solitude is lonely. Dress. What the fuck was that? What does that mean? A new prologue is now unlocked. Okay.